Part Part 3: The Making of a Scientist. Now, when Ebright found out the answer that the spots on the monarch golden spots or the monarch pupa were producing a hormone necessary for the butterfly's full development, so he won the project. Now see what happens. This project of his won Ebright first place in the county fair and entry into the international science and engineering fair. This was his reward. There he won third place for zoology. He also got a chance to work during the summer at the entomology laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. Entomology means science of insects. So he got this chance also to work in this prestigious laboratory, and that is entomology laboratory, science of insects laboratory of the Walter Reed Army Institute of Research. And as a high school junior, Richard Ebright continued his advanced experiments on the monarch pupa. That year, his project won first prize at the International Science Fair and gave him another chance to work in the Army laboratory during the summer. And that year also, he won the first project. This project was his first, earned him first place at the International Science Fair. And he again, for the next year also, he worked in that same laboratory. In his senior year, he went a step further. He grew cells from a monarch's wing in a culture and showed that the cells would divide and develop into normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. Now, he grew the cells from the monarch's wings in a culture and showed that these cells they divided and they developed into a normal butterfly wing scales only if they were fed the hormone from the gold spots. That project won first place for zoology at the international fair. He spent the summer after graduation during doing further work at the army laboratory and at the laboratory of the US Department of Agriculture. The following summer, after his freshman year at Harvard University, Ebright went back to the laboratory of the Department of Agriculture and did more work on the hormone from the gold spots. Using the laboratory's sophisticated instruments, the refined instruments, he was able to identify the hormone's chemical structure. So, this was another breathtaking achievement for him. When he worked in the university in the Department of Agriculture, he got the sophisticated instruments और वहाँ पर उन्होंने आइडेंटिफाई कर लिया कि हार्मोन्स जो हैं वो they contain the chemical structure. A year and a half later, during his junior year, Ebright got the idea for his new theory about cell life. It came while he was looking at X-ray photos of the chemical structure of a hormone. When he saw those photos, Ebright didn't shout Eureka. Eureka means cry of triumph at discovery. खुशी के लिए जो आवाज़ निकलती है, Eureka, or I have done it, or even I have got it. But he believed that along with his findings about insect hormones, the photos gave him the answer to one of biology's puzzles: how the cell can read the blueprint of its DNA. DNA is the substance in the nucleus of a cell that controls heredity. It determines the form and function of the cell. You may be knowing you are the biology student. Thus, DNA is the blueprint for life. So he just found out कि DNA जो है वो कितना important होता है, वही heredity को control करता है और वो blueprint है आपकी life का. Ebright and his college roommate James R. Wong worked all that night drawing pictures and constructing plastic models of molecules to show how it could happen. और उस रात वो सोए नहीं, उन्होंने खूब सारे मॉडल्स बनाए, प्लास्टिक के मॉलिक्यूल्स के पिक्चर्स बनाई and together they later wrote the paper that explained the theory. Surprising no one who knew him, Richard Ebright graduated from Harvard with highest honors, second in his class of 1,500 students. And then Ebright went on to become a graduate student researcher at Harvard Medical School. Soon he began doing experiments to test his theory. If the theory proves correct, it will be a big step towards understanding the processes of life. It might also lead to new ideas for preventing some types of cancer and other diseases. All of this is possible because of Ebright's scientific curiosity. His high school research into the purpose of the spots on a monarch pupa eventually led him to his theory about cell life. So it was all scientific curiosity of Ebright कि क्यों ये golden spots हैं pupa के ऊपर, that eventually, that lastly led him to his theory about the cell life. Richard Ebright has been interested in science since he first began collecting butterflies, but not so deeply that he hasn't time for other interests. Ebright also became a champion debater, one who gives the debates, one who speaks, and public speaker, and a good canoeist. Canoeist is a person who paddles canoe. Canoe is a small boat, and all around outdoor persons. He did all these outdoor activities. He's also an expert photographer, particularly of nature and scientific exhibits. Exhibits means things. In high school, Richard Ebright was a straight A student. Because learning was easy, he turned a lot of his energy towards the debating and model United Nations clubs. So, till 10th, that was all. Learning was easy, and so he could divert his energy towards debating and other model United clubs. He also found someone to admire, Richard A. Wehrer, his social studies teacher and advisor to both clubs. Mr. Wehrer was the perfect person for me then. He opened my mind to new ideas, Bright said. So he admitted that this person was a perfect person in his life. Richard would also always give that extra effort. Mr. Wehrer said, what pleased me was this person who put in 3 or 4 hours at night doing debate research, besides doing all his research with butterflies and his other interests. तो उसके टीचर मिस्टर वेरर ये एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं कि रिचर्ड वुड गिव एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट, वो एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट करते थे. वो रात में 3 or 4 hours ही वुड जस्ट गो ऑन डूइंग डिबेट रिसर्चेस. So Richard was competitive, Mr. Wehrer continued, but not in a bad sense. He was competitive, but not to kill somebody, to exploit somebody. He explained Richard wasn't interested in winning for winning's sake or winning to get a prize. Rather, he was winning because he wanted to do the best job he could. वो इसलिए जीतना चाहते थे क्योंकि वो बहुत अच्छा करना चाहते थे. For the right reasons, he wants to be the best. And that is one of the ingredients in making of a scientist. Start with a first rate mind. And in the end, Robert W. Peterson, the writer of the chapter, explains कि साइंटिस्ट कैसे बनता है, कौन कौन से इंग्रेडिएंट्स ज़रूरी होते हैं साइंटिस्ट बनने में. वो कहते हैं फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल अ फर्स्ट रेट माइंड. यू शुड हैव ग्रेट माइंड, इंटेलिजेंट माइंड. एड क्यूरियोसिटी, वो कहते हैं उसमें थोड़ी सी क्यूरियोसिटी और मिला दो. डिज़ायर टू नो द थिंग्स, है ना. एंड मिक्स इन द विल टू विन फॉर द राइट रीजंस. और थर्ड इज़ विल टू विन, जीतने का हौसला होना चाहिए. एंड दैट इज़ ऑल. Bright has had these qualities. From the time the book, The Travels of Monarch X, opened the world of science to him, Richard Bright has never lost his scientific curiosity. So this is all we learn from this chapter, that we have to have scientific curiosity in us. हमारे अंदर curiosity होनी चाहिए, क्यों ऐसा है, वो वहाँ पे कैसा है. This all we have to have. We have to have first trained mind. We have to give time to reading. Reading opens your mind to so many things. Reading is very very important, my dear students. You should go for reading. And then curiosity, of course, and then extra effort. You have seen that how he used to give extra effort. So बहुत ज़रूरी है थोड़ा सा लीक से थोड़ा सा हटकर we have to do some extra job, and that makes everything in us, that makes us successful, you will see. So this is all about in this video. Thank you. Stay safe and happy.